guys, and welcome back to When Life Gets Strange, episode 12. Today, I want to talk to you about achieving your goals and how the why is none of your business. Maybe you'd like to lose weight once and for all and have it to be easy and natural. Maybe you want to write a book, launch a podcast, love being a military spouse, believe that you come first with your spouse to your husband, find that dream job, find that one friend who gets it, who gets you, who gets being military, who gets the struggles, that one friend who, whether you're stationed together or not, you know that you can call them anytime, day or night. You can be here in the States, they can be in Korea. It doesn't matter. Anything at all that you want to accomplish. And now I want you to think of all the reasons why you haven't done it. I don't have time, money. It's not possible. It's too hard. For me, my big excuse is I don't know how. However, I've come to believe that the how is none of my business or your business. Now, I know that sounds a little bit out there, but here's why it's important to believe that the how is none of your business. It stops you from being willing to keep trying until you do figure it out. When I was starting to go back to school, when I wanted to go back to school, I believed I didn't have the time. I didn't know how I would make it work. But once I started going to school and I was willing to figure it out, I tried lots of different things and it worked. And one of the added benefits was because I had school a couple of nights where I got home later and my daughter would make dinner, is she was like, I've learned how capable I am, Mom. I didn't even see that coming. She's like, yeah, I now know I can make dinner if I need to. And so she gained some freedom and she grew. And I got to go back to school. And it was so crazy and so exciting and so good. And not only did I grow, but my children grew from it. It was kind of like an added bonus. Now, like many of the spouses I've worked with for a long time, I had the belief that the military comes first and that I come second to my husband. But one day I decided that's it. I'm not believing that anymore. It's not good for me. It's not good for our marriage. It wasn't good for our relationship. And so I decided to start trying out new thoughts because I wanted to believe that I came first, that I was before the military, that I was more important than anything else he had going on, whether it was his hobbies, work, church calling, it didn't matter. I was first. And so some of the thoughts I tried was Spencer loves me, the Army second. I'm his wife. But you know what? Those thoughts, they didn't quite work for me. And so I kept trying other thoughts and I worked on it until I came up with this thought that everything Spencer does is for me and the kids. And that thought was the jackpot for me. Now, for you, you might have a different thought, but for me, that thought's everything. So when he has to go TDY, when he misses an anniversary or Christmas, the thought is everything he's doing is for me and the kids. So if he has to go out on a deployment, he's going on that deployment because he wants to provide the way that he does, the best way that he knows how. And that's being a soldier. And that puts food on the table. That gives us insurance. That's providing for us. So if they want him to go in the field for a few weeks or TDY, it's all for me and the kids. And when I started to believe that, our whole relationship changed. Our marriage is in such a better place. But guess what? Spencer didn't change. The Army didn't change. I'm the one that changed. And because I've made that change and I've grown, I'm able to help other military spouses change their beliefs around that. When somebody asks, what's one thing that you wish you had known going into the military? Guess what? It's that no matter what, I am first. It might feel like the military comes first. It might even look like the military comes first. But that's not actually true because I get to choose what I believe. I get to choose my goals and the things that I'm working on. And so that goal for me of learning to believe that I'm first has changed everything. So currently, right now, I'm working on losing weight in an easy and natural way. And I'm willing to try new things. I'm willing to say yes to all of it. My twin brother and his wife did a 5 day fast. I'm not sure all the things they did because I just saw it on Facebook. But when I saw it, I thought, is that something I'm willing to try? Am I willing to try fasting for a few days to reset my body? Right now, no. My answer is not yet. But there are other things that I'm willing to try. I'm willing to give up eating ice cream every day. Now, will there be some discomfort in that? Yeah, my family loves ice cream, and we live in the North Country in upstate New York, and there's homemade ice cream everywhere from all these little dairy farms. And one of the things that we love to do is to go out and get ice cream and to try the different places. So I might be a little bit have some discomfort, but you know what? That's okay, because I can have discomfort because I'm not eating the ice cream that I love with my family, or I can have discomfort when the scale doesn't move the way that I want it to. There's going to be discomfort no matter what. And that's one of the things with our goals. When we believe it's possible, we're willing to sit in that discomfort. We're willing to keep going until we figure out what works for us. So my goal of losing weight in an easy and natural way, that might mean that I have ice cream a couple of nights a week instead of every night. And I learned to be okay with that. So the answer to accomplishing your goals is saying yes and getting to work. It's taking action and then doing more action and more action. It's being willing to sit in the discomfort. It's believing that you're going to figure it out. Of course, you're going to reach your goal because you're willing to do the work. Now, our brains, we like to set goals. As humans, we like to progress and to change. That's kind of how we were made. However, our brain wants to know the way to achieve it when it gets started. And when you hit the first hiccup, the first bump in the road, our brains want to quit because they want to believe that it's not possible. But what if the way is in trying the new things and failing? What if failure was part of achieving your goals? What if trying new things was part of achieving your goals? What if you were willing to take action and to keep believing that the goal is possible? What if you are willing to continue to fail and to continue to try? Last week, I mentioned Thomas Edison and having a growth mindset. That's kind of setting these goals too. Not knowing the way. Thomas Edison was willing to try new ways, new things. He kept trying. He didn't let the failure mean anything about him. He was willing to try until he reached his goal of creating electricity. Now, today we live in such an amazing time. We can learn new things all day long. We can read blogs, we can watch YouTube videos, we can Google it. I know I Google all sorts of things. Lately, my husband and I, we have been on a home remodeling project. We've been painting, we've redone our floors, we put in cabinets, we've done backsplash, we put in countertops. Currently, we're working on making a table. I help a little bit, really, it's him. But we're willing to set these goals and to keep going and to learn. Now, we redid our floors upstairs. So we've redone all the floors, we've refinished the hardwood floors, and we laid tile in our kitchen. And we watched videos and we made a plan and we got to work. And we did part of the tile in the kitchen. And then once that was dried or set for a couple of days, we were going to move the fridge over and then do the other half. And as we moved the fridge, the tiles started to crack. Like whatever we had done, it was wrong. And let me tell you, it was so upsetting and so disappointed, and I wanted to quit. However, I had no flooring. So quitting at that point really wasn't an option. So we went to work. We did some more research. We figured out what we thought the mistake was. We had to buy some more supplies, and we tried again, and we laid the tile floor. And you know what? It looks great and it worked, and we figured it out. Some other examples of continuing to try until you figure it out come from the Bible. Now, if you're not religious, that's okay. I am, and these are stories that I believe are true. But if you don't believe them, that's perfectly okay. There's still stories that can show you what I'm trying to get across. Moses is such a good example of this. He was told to free the Israelite people, and he had no idea how he was going to do it. But he continued to go to Pharaoh and tell him to free his people. And eventually, the Israelites were allowed to go. And as Pharaoh comes chasing after them and Moses is leading them, they come to the Red Sea, and the Lord tells them to go through it, and the Red Sea separates. and the Israelites were able to pass through on dry land. And now they're in the desert as they're heading to the promised land, and they need food, and the Lord gives them manna, and they need water, and water comes forth from a rock. Moses had no idea what was going to happen. All he knew is that he was willing to try and to keep moving forward. Now, one of my favorite people from the Bible is Queen Esther. She is another great example. She too was willing to risk everything to save her people. She was brave enough to go to the king, and the king spared her life. He could have just chose to kill her in that moment, but he didn't. He chose to save her life, to allow her to speak. And she asked to put on a banquet for him, and she did so. And the banquet was grand, and she made her request, and she told the king what was going on, that her people were set to all be killed. And not only did he save her, but the king went on to save her people because she was willing to believe that it was possible. Moses was willing to believe it was possible. They were willing to move forward. They were willing to figure it out no matter the cost. So, the way to set any goal is to be willing to take action, to not worry about the how, and to just know that it's possible, to be willing to figure it out, to keep trying, commit to believing in the goal. Know that no matter what, you can figure it out, and that the how is none of your business. When you can do that, then you won't make the failures along the way mean anything about you, because they really don't. Failure is just a way to learn what does not work. And just because it didn't work one day doesn't mean that you won't come back to it and it'll work the next time. Of course, you don't know how, because if you knew how to achieve that goal, you would have already achieved it. So, all you need to know is the next thing you're going to try. What's the next right step? That might mean that you fail, and that's okay, because then you're learning what doesn't work. What do you want to achieve? What would change in your life if you decided it was going to happen no matter what? Would you find that dream job? Would you change your marriage? Would you go back to school? Would you find that best friend? What is it? What are you wanting to achieve? Would you lose the weight? What would you change if you decided it was going to happen no matter what, and you were willing to get to work and try new things until you figure it out? What if it takes 2 years, 6 months, 5 years? What if it didn't matter? Because no matter what, you were going to figure it out and you were going to get there. Guess what? It's all possible. I totally believe it. I would love to help you reach your goals. I can help you to get your thoughts in the right place. It's kind of my specialty. I help connect people to themselves and to others, to their thinking. It's what I love to do. I love to see other military spouses setting goals and achieve them.